Hello, Blanky Term. Welcome to the class. How are you? Well, I'm going to start the class. So, hello, students. My name is Cristina. I'm an English teacher in Aula Abierta, and today we're going to review some tips you can use in your B2 exam. We're going to talk about the writing, that you have two parts in the writing. And what do you think about the writing in B2? Do you think it's easy or difficult? I think it's easy if you know how you need to do your writing. Okay, so there are two parts. Part number one, which is about an email, and part number two, that could be a lot of options. We will see later. Okay, so you have 1 hour and 20 minutes to complete both writings. Okay, so you should write between 140 words to 190 words, okay, in each writings. So let's roll the ball, and we're going to talk about part number one. We start with this part. It's an argumentative text. The topic is about the current topics, like is better to have a big or a small family, or teenagers love technology, and you should write your say. Okay, apart from the title, Cambridge will give you some information in this part of the writing, so you should include in your writing. You can write examples and opinions that show the connection, okay, with your between your ideas. So my tip in part number one, um, you must you must write paragraphs. So the structure is important. Cambridge loves structures, so you should write 3 or 4 paragraphs to write your argumentative text. Okay, and I'm going to show you from one book I have the type of writing you need to you are going to see in your exam. Look at this. Okay, this is part number one of your writing, and you have an email, so you have some notes. You have to answer these notes and complete your writing. So structure is important. This is one of my favorite tips that I told my students. And also, Cambridge wants clear ideas. Okay, so now to prepare your writing, you need to check your grammar, check your spelling, check your vocabulary, check the notes that Cambridge asks you for. Use linking words, for example, on the one hand or on the other hand, firstly, finally. Um, what do you think about part number one? Do you think it's easy or is difficult? Now we continue with part number two. There are 3 options and you must choose. Sorry, someone is calling me, but I can't. Okay, now it's okay. So, as I told you before, you must choose one. There are different types of writing in this part, so let's go. You can choose between an article, an email, a report, and a review. Hello, girl, Sylvia, how are you? We're talking about writing in your B2 exam. I talk about part number one, and now we're going to talk about part number two. So, I have here my notes. So, an article must be interesting, of course. So, if they are talking about, well, if they ask you, teenagers love technology, you should write an article very interesting, not only some, well, 3 or 4 ideas. You should write clear ideas with the structure, with the title, with everything, okay? Then you have an email or a letter, could be formal or informal letter, okay? So you must use an informal language or a formal language. That I told you that is important. More things. A report. You should use the information Cambridge gives you, and you should write in informal language, writing titles in each part of this part of the writing, okay? So let's go. We have another one, a review. So you must write about a book, a concert, or a film, okay? These are examples. Use descriptions, use adjectives, nouns, a range of vocabulary. Well, you should show your best in this part of the writing, okay? Because they are going to ask you for a lot of things, so you need to check your grammar before, check your vocabulary, check everything for this part of the exam. Now, I have more tips. As I told you in part number 1, part number 2, it's very important that you check the structures, okay? Write your writings, use a lot of vocabulary, your grammar, nouns, adjectives, pronouns, everything, okay? So to prepare your writing, you focus on your writing for a specific target, for the target reader, using appropriate register. So you must study different types of writing. If you only study a formal letter, it's going to be a disaster, okay, guys? Because you should study all types of writing. So imagine you are in the real exam, you sit down, and when you go to part number 2 and you see an article and a review and a report, and you only study the email and a formal letter, it's going to be a disaster. You get in trouble, guys. So try to study all writings before your exam, okay? Now, I'm going to talk about my experience because, well, I studied in Dublin in Ireland, and I used to study this type of writings. I can remember my writings when I took my exams in the academy, but I don't think it's a difficult part. You are going to be very nervous, I'm sure, because I was, because of the time, because you think that you are not going to finish on time. So follow the instructions that I told you, and you will get high marks, I'm sure, okay? So more things I'm going to tell you is that we finished the class. Thanks for watching me every day. I'm really happy that I stay with you here in front of you. Every Wednesday I'll be here. So at 6:30 p.m. I stay here in front of the camera, and we can talk about the part of the exam, your B2 exam. If you have questions, please ask me. No problem. I will check later and I will answer you. So more. Remember that we have more activities in Cultural Actes at 7 p.m. So don't forget to follow Aula Abierta and Cultural Actes and enjoy your afternoon. So see you next Wednesday, and remember that tomorrow we have a story that Greenman is coming to my flat and he's going to tell us a story. See you. Bye bye.